The breezes herald the arrival of autumn. A clear mountain stream meanders across the land, flowing and burbling in a graceful arc around the human dwellings. The colors of autumn prove more fascinating than those of springtime. In the midst of varying hues of red, the mountain stands like a proud monument. The red color permeating through the dense woods offers an apt backdrop for all the creatures striving freely under heavens. This is a prime example of Chinese landscape art created by Li Keran. In 1963, after visiting many scenic spots around China, the artist chose to use the vermilion pigment for his masterpiece, which portrays the towering aspirations of his motherland. These majestic mountains and forests opened a new chapter in the use of color in Chinese fine art. In traditional landscapes, the natural world used to be imbued with either a sense of ease and clarity or marked by imposing grandeur and gravity. This painting, however, has used meticulously layered ink wash to model the volume of the mountains. Then, the application of shifting textures sculpts the autumnal forest like a bas-relief. The thin and fragile xuan paper seems to have acquired an enduring permanence.
这件作品在中国画山水画创作上是一个新的开拓。开拓的重要原因就是这个黑山水上能不能画红色？
突破口就认为画家应该睁开眼睛看你看到的世界，画你用眼睛看到的东西，这非常有革命性。
The splendid red color used by Li Keran in that poetic, passionate era has etched itself in the mind of spectators. The remarkable idea was first conceived in 1963, when Li Keran visited a large forest spanning the Tropic of Cancer in southern China. As a revered professor at the Central Academy of Fine Arts in Beijing, he had gained the recognition of old masters like Xu Beihong and Qi Baishi. It's the 10th year that he had been marking such artistic tours, to sketch and draw the natural sceneries. His favorite seals bear his motto, that spirit and soul are the essence of fine art. Drawing directly from the natural world was Li Keran's bold endeavor to renew the Chinese painting. Over many years, he had explored for a new spirit and soul to underpin China's art tradition in the new era. In the 1950s, the traditional fine art of China was on a cusp, as its many practitioners were trying to adapt and improve the time-honored techniques. Li Keran embraced the challenge by embarking on an extended journey. He believed that painting from life was the gateway to the transformation of Chinese fine art. The artists must go into the natural world and merge their character with that of the era. For more than a decade, Li Keran made dozens of trips to sketch and paint from life, the longest lasting some 8 months. He traveled tens of thousands of miles. The mountains and streams inspired Li Keran's brushstroke and revealed to him the limitations of traditional techniques.
我父亲他就是说，需要横向的、互相的寻求。如果用当今现在的语言来说，就是各个领域的交叉性的融合。
During this transitional period, Li Keran's works presented a distinct combination of the styles of old masters like Qi Baishi and Huang Binghong, and the pointillism and other modern approaches learned during his days at the Art Academy in Hangzhou. The merged syntax of Chinese and Western fine arts offered a new path for Li Keran in his efforts to blaze a new trail for China's landscape painting.
从这个角度上来讲，李可染先生是20世纪在中国画领域里面进行中西融合的一位这个代表人物。
His unfettered brushstrokes are bold and adventurous, departing from the established conventions of composition. By bringing the East and West together, he succeeded in capturing the natural world's spiritual essence faithfully. His landscape works were a manifestation of the inspiring times he lived in. In 1963, beholding the exuberant large forest in southern China's Guangdong, Li Keran began to contemplate a transformative endeavor after a decade of traveling and painting. The red foliage reminded him of Chairman Mao's poetry, celebrating the 10,000 mountains bathed in red, a symbol of a burgeoning nation. He wondered how exactly he could render these massive mountain peaks and glorious colors.
60年代我们看到的两弹一星，我们看到的农业上的一些事情，科技上的一些突破，都能显示出来呢。就在和平时期呢，一种文化上的酿运着一种成熟。
By a happy coincidence, Li Keran came into possession of some vermilion pigment made in the 18th century. With this, he launched a series of experiments rooted in tradition. In ink-wash painting, the layered building of the colors and hues is known as ink accumulation. To this, Li Keran added such oil painting techniques as chiaroscuro, texturing, and light and shadow, which he learned in his student days. The blending of ink accumulation with oil techniques formed the foundation for the liberal application of the vermilion pigment. The only challenge was to imbue the autumn's light, color, and spirit with the aspirations of the poetic times.
那么朱砂现在这个所有的中国画家都会有这个颜料，但是很多人还是画不出像万山红遍这样的一种红，那很显然这不是一个红颜色的问题。那也就是说，这个红颜色你是涂到画面上，是染到画面上，还是用击墨的方法击彩击到画面上，把墨转化成朱砂，一层一层点上去，这才是关键。
Li Keran once wrote, "I follow no tradition formulas, but I am faithful in tradition." Emerging from a combination of the old and new, the Li Keran style in Chinese landscape was born.
他是想把山画成丰碑一样的山水，特别的强调了这个主峰在画面正中间迎面而来， 这是所有的山水画中都回避的。这个形式感就是时代性啊，这种语言本身带有这个时代的气息。万山红遍的这件作品啊，之所以能够成功，并不仅仅是它用了红颜色，不仅仅这幅画具有形式美感，还重要的是它的表达的一种精神境界的一种雄伟，一种博大，啊，是这种雄伟博大让我们感受到这幅画面好像是万山红遍，丛林尽染。
Trying his best to enter into the tradition before breaking out of it to embrace the future, Li Keran devoted his lifetime. He once remarked, "As others lament how bleak a future the Chinese tradition has, I see nothing but the arrival of a new dawn in the Oriental art." In 10,000 mountains bathed in red, the imagery is brimming with poetry and passionate love. The light of national rejuvenation is bound to shine over the nation's mountains and rivers.